Okay, so here's the cervical enlargement. You couldn't see it very well, I think, on the spinal cord itself. And down here is the lumbar enlargement. Where does the spinal cord begin?
It's continuous with the medulla oblongata.
It is. So where does it begin?
Oh, it's C1.
Well, can you say more specifically anatomical landmark?
Oh.
No, that's not. Doesn't begin at C7.
Not that one. I know.
Have you ever heard of the foramen magnum? Above foramen magnum is brain, below it is spinal cord. That's the bony landmark, okay? So this would be medulla oblongata. And then we get down here, we get to spinal cord. Cervical plexus would be in this area, okay? And what's the important nerve in the cervical plexus?
Phrenic nerve.
Phrenic nerve. Why is it important?
Diaphragm.
Because it goes with the diaphragm.
C3, C4, C5.
C3, C4, C5, keep the diaphragm alive. Why is the diaphragm important?
Breathing.
For breathing.
Skirt steak, too.
Yeah, it's skirt steak. Okay, so if you damage it, you can't breathe. And why is that important?
You need to breathe. No O2, you're dead.
You're dead pretty soon, okay? So that's why C3, C4, C5 keep the diaphragm alive. Okay?
Phrenic nerve.
So the phrenic nerve, very important. And if you go and look at dissected out spinal cord, you'll see it there with a little bit of diaphragm still left there, a little bit of the skirt steak still there. Okay. And it serves the neck and area kind of. What about the head? What serves that?
The cervical plexus?
Nope.
What?
The cervical plexus serves a little bit of the head, but most of the head is served by the
Cranial nerves.
cranial nerves. Okay, don't forget that. People forget that. Okay. But when we get down to the brachial plexus, what does that serve? Upper limbs mainly.
The limbs.
The shoulder too, and also the serratus anterior, because the serratus anterior is sometimes damaged during a mastectomy, and then you can't hold that scapula in, and you get winged scapula. So, what nerve serves the shoulder? Axillary. Okay, and that's showing on that dissection over there. It serves the what muscle? Deltoid and
serratus anterior.
so that's T1. Axillary serves also the teres minor. Okay. Then we have sort of an M shape here. Okay. The first part of the M is the
Trunk.
musculocutaneous, and that serves the flexors of the elbow. Okay. And what was that? Biceps brachii, and what's underneath it? Brachialis. Okay. And then the sensor we're not going to worry too much about. In the middle would be the median. That's easy. So the median serves the wrist and fingers, and it's the one involved in
flexors.
Carpal tunnel. So it's flexors.
Flexors.
Yeah. Okay. And also gets hitting wrist slashing. Okay. And then this one you've all experienced.
Wrist slashing.
Ulnar.
Ulnar.
Okay. And that goes by the medial epicondyle. That's your funny bone. Okay. Again, flexors of the wrist and hand, but also more of the hand here. There's another nerve coming off the back here, not part of the M.
Radial nerve.
Radial nerve. What is it going to serve then? What's left? Extensors. Also, that sneaky old little brachioradialis that hangs out with those extensors is also served by it. Even though brachioradialis is a flexor of the elbow, it's not controlled by the musculocutaneous. It's controlled by the radialis. Okay. And if the radial is damaged, then you're going to can't extend your wrist. You're going to have wrist drop. Okay. Okay. What about the thoracic plexus?
There's no plexus.
No thoracic plexus. What do you have instead?
Intercostal nerves.
Intercostal nerves. Okay. Now, part of so T1 through T12. T1 though actually is part of that
brachial.
Part of it is part of the brachial plexus. T12 is not really an intercostal nerve because these are the ventral rami we're talking about here, because it's actually subcostal underneath of it. Now, we're going back to the brachial though. There's an order of how it branches, recombines. We're talking about the ventral rami here. Ventral rami. Real tired, drink coffee, black.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So real stands for ventral rami. They say roots, but it's really ventral rami. Tired is trunks.
Trunks.
Drink is divisions. Coffee is cord. Lac is the nerves, the branches.
Branches.
Like what we just did, okay? Okay, and coming down here, this is what muscle. Do you recognize this muscle?
Psoas.
Psoas major. And what plexus is in there?
Sacral.
Nope. Lumbar. Lumbar plexus in here. What two nerves are important there?
Femoral and obturator.
Femoral and obturator. And I'd like somebody else besides Paul to add. Femoral and obturator. Femoral serves what? Other people. Reggie.
Quads.
Quads, right. And they're involved in the foreswing of walking, okay? And what else? What does obturator serve somebody else? Adductors. Oh, that's you. That doesn't count. Adductors, okay? And femoral is damaged most often by a stabbing or a gunshot wound. Okay? It's over in my area. Okay?
East Oakland.
No, I don't live in East Oakland. I live in North Oakland. I'm cheating. Okay, and the
Piedmont.
Almost. The adductors are damaged most often in childbirth. And then you have a problem. Okay, and then on the other side we have the sacral plexus.
Sacral.
And what's the important nerve there?
Sciatic.
Sciatic. And there's actually two nerves. What two nerves? Something that hasn't spoken yet.
Tibial.
Tibial and
Common perineal.
okay. Tibial and common peroneal.
Tibial.
Now, the sneaky thing about the tibial, though, you might think the tibial would go to the anterior compartment. The tibial is anterior, but it doesn't. It serves the posterior compartment of the leg. Things like gastrocnemius and soleus. The common peroneal has deep and superficial branches. It serves the lateral and anterior compartment. Okay, so that's important to remember, too. Okay. Cervical plexus is found associated with which muscle? Sternocleidomastoid underneath that, okay? So you know this is with sternocleidomastoid, this is the psoas major. This part of the end of the cord is called the what?
Filum terminale.
Nope.
The end of the cord.
End of the cord.
Conus medullaris.
Conus medullaris, like a cone shape, right? Coming off of it is the filum terminale, which joins with the dura mater to form the coccygeal ligament, okay? What's this little blue stuff coming off here?
Is that sympathetic ganglion?
No, that's this. We haven't gotten there yet. You're going ahead of chapter. Huh?
So that's chapter 18.
Yeah. So what's this blue stuff coming off? It's pia mater.
Pia.
It's pia mater. What's it called, though? Holds the cord so it doesn't move sideways.
Denticulate ligament.
Denticulate ligaments, okay? And would this be sensory or motor right here? First of all, is it anterior or posterior? Is this anterior or posterior?
It's like posterior, isn't it?
Anterior.
Oh, anterior.
So that would be
So
what?
that's motor.
Motor, okay? Anything else I can think of here? Well, let's take this away. Let's look at another model. Let's take this away, please.
Hold that real quick. That sucker is heavy, dude.
Yeah, I don't like it that way. Wish we had a lighter one. Okay. What type of vertebrae is this?
Cervical.
Cervical. How can you tell that?
Bifid spinal process.
Bifid and transverse
Transverse
foramina.
foramina.
Okay. And what's coming through these transverse foramina, I wonder?
Veins, arteries.
Arteries, yeah, like vertebral arteries, okay? Now you got to watch out for this model because one thing that's a little misleading is this thing here. This gray thing, what might you think it is? It's not. It's a ligament.
It's a ligament.
Yeah. So holding part of the spine together is this ligament. So just ignore that for our purposes because this is, when you're 3, is your dura mater. Because above the dura mater we have the epidural space. That's where people get anesthesia
Epidural.
sometimes. And just underneath this subdural space, just a tiny little thing there, okay?
Where's the needle go when
A
you
black
get the
line? Epidural?
spinal tap, right?
Then it has to go
Subdural space.
Well, where does it go
subarachnoid, huh?
compared to the bone, I was wondering that.
Okay.
Going right through.
Well, they have to go between, bones.
Just in between?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
You can't go through the bone. You don't want to go through the
Yeah, I
bone.
didn't think
Yeah,
so.
no.
Which was the subdural?
Subdural is
line.
in between, right in here. Because underneath, this is the arachnoid, so this is the place right in here, subarachnoid space. This is dura mater, this is arachnoid, this is pia mater.
Okay.
So right, let me point here. And this is on the YouTubes, right?
I'll give you my YouTube link. I gotta post it up.
So, so here again is epidural space, or you give an epidural. Here's the dura mater. Here's the subdural space in here. This is the arachnoid. This is subarachnoid space. This is pia mater. This is spinal cord. Would this yellow thing be here?
Root ganglion.
Dorsal root ganglion, okay? So this would be posterior root.
Posterior
root. Rootlets, and this is anterior roots.
Okay.
Okay? So watch out for the fact that this is not dura mater. Otherwise, it makes a lot of sense, I think.
Oh, it stops.
Okay, let's take that away.